Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. In today's video, we are going to be reacting to the Nick Fuentes, Ian Carroll beef, if you will, and how Ian Carroll has really been attacking everybody, including, people like Candace Owens, who is obviously the loudest and the biggest voice as it pertains to this whole Charlie Kirk TPUSA debacle. And he's been attacking everybody else who believes anything remotely similar to what people like Candace Owens believes, which I think is crazy. But I think it would do us a disservice if we did not start off this live by showing what he had to say about Erica Kirk. Let me get this right. There we go. But I want to first show what he had to say about Erica and this Erica Kirk, Candace Owens back and forth, because the ironic thing here is that Nick Fuentes is not very fond of Erica either. It's very odd. It's a very odd position. This will be one of the weirdest videos that you all will watch as far as a guy like Nick, because Nick tends to be against the establishment. He says the things that no one was willing to say. He's willing to go and investigate the things no one is willing to investigate. And then when it comes to this, he sounds so out of it. He sounds so confused, right? Before I show this first clip, a lot of people don't know who Nick Fuentes is. I learned that with the video I posted yesterday. A lot of people were saying, hey, I watched it, but I didn't really know who Nick Fuentes is. If you have yet to check out my Nick Fuentes documentary, I would highly encourage you to do so. I think it will give you a little bit of insight on who Nick Fuentes is and sort of his role in the GOP or the conservative movement, right? So with that, I want to go ahead and show you all the first clip of what he had to say about Erica Kirk's response to Candace Owens yesterday. Let's start off with that clip to sort of set the stage, and then I'm going to give you all some additional information after the fact. I also want to say that if I have enough time, because I can't go live that long, I need to cook and get some other things out of the way around the house. So I'm going to say, and yes, that's right, I love to cook. I'm going to say this. If I have enough time, I'm going to share with you all the suspicious rise of Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes' backstory is a bit strange as well. And I'm going to specifically draw on some information I got from Brian, the auditor. Apparently, he's been doing research and investigation on a lot of things and not just audits. So I'm going to share a little bit of the information that he sent over to me. And for the record, I do plan to have Brian on in the near future whenever we can find the time. So here's a clip of Nick Fuentes talking about Erica Kirk, and then we're going to transition into the things that he said about the Charlie Kirk investigation.
Now, Erica said, you're never going to believe what happened. So now Erica got on the show with Barry Weiss, and she said, dude, it's so crazy. So Erica Kirk does a show with Barry Weiss on CBS. It's like a town hall. It's going to air this weekend. They published a clip. And Barry Weiss says to Erica, she goes, what do you have to say to Candace Owens and these people that are pushing conspiracy theories? And Erica, like, dude, oh my. And the Oscar goes to Erica, her face, her expression hardens, and she goes, stop. And we're supposed to be like, oh, whoa, she means business. No, you stop. No. You need to stop. Did you guys see the clip? So she's on with the Israeli spy, Barry Weiss, after she's grabbing J.D. Vance's ass. And Barry Weiss goes, so what do you have to say to Candace Owens, who built her business lying about blah, blah? And Erica Kirk makes this, like, face. She goes, stop. That's it. And we're supposed to be like, Saint Olga in the flesh. The battle cry of the cries of the widow. Like, come on now. It's enough already. It's enough.
I get the vibe from Nick Fuentes that he loves to gossip. I mean, it just does not help the gay rumors surrounding his name. It just doesn't. His mannerisms doesn't help it either. But let's continue.
It's really bad at this point. Like, you're not a good actress. This is not a compelling performance. Nobody is buying this. And look, I am not a Candace Owens fan at all, as you know. That doesn't mean that this does not stink. Like, this performance does not stink. Just drop it. Can you just be fucking normal? Because it's obvious that you're acting. It's obvious that you are putting on a facade. And that is hurting your credibility. And it's hard for anyone to be able to take their side when that is what they are offering. You know, the first week, nobody could say anything because you can't. When she did her speech on the Charlie Kirk show, and then she did the memorial, and then she was on the show again, and nobody could say anything. But now, here we are on the second wave, second leg of the tour. The handkerchief is back and better than ever. The handkerchief is actually sort of disappointed. Erica Kirk's handkerchief was recently beaten out by the artificial intelligence founders for Time Person of the Year. Should have gotten it. The handkerchief was the runner-up, so it was a little bit disappointing, kind of crushing. You know, they thought they had it, but didn't get it. The handkerchief is back and bigger and better than ever. It is making an appearance. We are on the second leg. We are on the 67th leg of the Erica Kirk tour. And honestly, though, it's just like, who's buying that? You remember when she gave the speech and everybody said, I've seen that expression before. It's like Saint Olga. Don't mess with the... Come on. What is this now? What is this? It's like a Disney movie.
I agree it's like a Disney movie, but it's just very odd to listen to Nick Fuentes, especially after the clips you're about to hear me play, after you're about to watch these clips, because he's attacking everybody who don't believe what the feds are telling us, which is very weird from this guy, right? But it's very weird to hear this man say, Erica, it's very obvious that you're acting. It's very obvious, and we can all tell that you're acting, which I would agree it appears that she's acting, and it appears that she's been acting from the start. Nick Fuentes, why do you think she's acting? That's the question, bro. Why do you think this woman is acting? Why would you need to act if there's nothing to hide? If your husband was unalived, if you're really distraught, right? It just appears, once again, as I've said before, that this guy just has a vendetta for everybody. He wants to dislike everybody, right? He wants to be all over there by himself, so it can make him look like much more of the villain, right? Absolute insanity. Hit the like button on your way in if you do not mind. I'm probably not going to get too many people to catch this live 6 o'clock on a Friday, but I do want to go over this because this is crazy. So what clip do I want to play first? Let's start with Ian Carroll. Nick Fuentes went on, he guest appeared on the Steven Crowder YouTube show. And he was asked about his views on Charlie Kirk. He's been saying it beforehand, but I'm going to just take you all to the beginning and let's just go in chronological order, right? Let's start with what Nick Fuentes told Steven Crowder, two people who don't like Candace Owens, obviously. So if anything, they're going to have a reason to try to find a way to disagree with Candace, right? So let's hear what what Nick Fuentes told Steven Crowder, and then we're going to hear what Ian Carroll had to say in response.
A lot of controversy floating around that, and people often say that you blame the Jews for everything. Do you believe the Jews killed Charlie Kirk? That's one of the conspiracies out there right now. What's your position on that?
I don't believe that. As it stands right now, I think it was Tyler Robinson.
Yeah. Nick, pay attention out here, bro.
Right.
You think that a 30-06 hit a neck vertebrae and turned at a 90-degree angle and then continued at full velocity and shattered a bunch of neck vertebrae below it and then possibly went down into his heart and stopped his heart? You think that they just paved over the crime scene 2 days later on a Sunday just by happenstance? You think that there was a bunch of foreign military planes on the ground that day doing weird flight stuff just by chance? You think that Charlie Kirk literally tweeting to his Jewish and Zionist donors that he needs to leave the pro-Israel cause is not relevant?
Right.
And that him texting to his friends the day before this happened that he was afraid they were going to kill him is not relevant? That Bibi Netanyahu offering him an enormous sum of money that he turned down is not relevant? Like, you're supposed to be our guy, bro. This is your moment. This is your moment on so many levels, dude. Where are you? You're on Steven Crowder disavowing the people that are actually out here taking on Israel, taking on the deep state, taking on the whole thing. And you're over here with Crowder. And to be clear, I'm not saying that Nick is the same as Rabbi Shmuley. And I'm just saying, how are you winding up at the conclusion of these guys? With all that you know, with all that you've called out, with your deep understanding of how Jewish donors control things, with your deep understanding of the history of Mossad and of the CIA, you don't even think there's a possibility? Not even a chance. And I know that you've got beef with Candace and that you just don't like Candace. And I know that Candace has beef with you. And it's like, I know it's a lot for her to be doing really well right now on her podcast, despite all the hardship that is involved in that.
Right.
But like, that is not why, like, that's not a reason. That's not what's going on here. Like, what is going on here?
Milking it. It's been like 3 months, and every show is, this changes everything. You're not going to want to miss.
Nick, if you were murdered, I would not stop until I figured out who the fuck did it. And I don't even know you. I've never met you. But if you were murdered today, especially if there were suspicious circumstances, especially if you had just texted your Jewish Zionist donors, which I know you don't have, but you know, if the situation were reversed and you had been murdered, I would not stop investigating that until we figured it out and proved this issue is the exact example of why your point, specifically your point, that it's not just the Israeli government, it is also American Zionists, American Jewish Zionists, and this network that they have built inside of America on behalf of this foreign state, because that's what TPUSA is exactly. If there's any moment in time when America has a direct, obvious example of what you have been championing for years, it's right now with Turning Point USA. And suddenly everyone else is gone. Like, everyone else has gone off to fight it. And you are not there.
Right. And for those of you who are asking, who cares what Nick Fuentes has to say? It doesn't matter. It does matter. I'm going to tell you why. It doesn't matter if we like him or not. It doesn't matter if we can see through him or not. What matters is that he has major influence, whether we like it or not. The guy has major influence. And you need to ask yourselves, when these people are in these positions of influence, and with influence comes power, right? When they do these things, we have to ask ourselves, why would they be doing this? Are they being told to do this? Who's telling them to do this? Do they have sponsors? Do they have funders? And if so, who are their funders? Who are their sponsors, right? Because many people have said for a while that they believe that Nick Fuentes is the feds, right? And again, if I have time, we're gonna get into some things that Nick Fuentes has been involved in over the past decade. That's interesting, very much so, considering how young he is. That the average everyday person isn't just finding themselves involved in, but this person, Nick Fuentes, has seemed to be present for some of the most craziest things that's taking place in politics, right? Is it just the luck of the draw, weird timing, or what? You got this guy, Nick Fuentes, saying that he believes the feds when he never believes the feds. But now all of a sudden he believes it. So he saw this and then he responded. I'm going to show you all the response and then I'm going to chime in so that yeah, let's start with this one.
Ian Carroll, the conspiracy theorist, he's making videos about the conspiracy behind Red Lobster.
So if you already see what he just did there, he did what the left is known for doing, right? Nick Fuentes, the anti-Semite. Nick Fuentes, the Nazi. Donald Trump, the Nazi, right? You say the person's name and then you follow it with an ad hominem, right? With a negative adjective to describe that person, sort of as a low blow, to almost discredit them in an indirect way, so that anything that you say after that, you can know that that this person is probably not credible, probably not somebody you should listen to. Now he's doing it. Now he's doing the same thing, the same tactic, right?
Conspiracy behind Applebee's, the conspiracy behind Burger King. He does a live stream tonight and says, where are you, Nick? We're all aligned on this against the Jews, and you are agreeing with Crowder and Tim Pool and everybody else. We need you. Why are you with them? And I would say with Ian Carroll, where's the evidence? What even is that?
Yo, he says, where's the evidence to suggest that something other than what the feds has told us took place? Are you kidding me? There's more evidence to suggest that everything but what they told us happened. You got people like myself that some people will probably see as radical that don't even, I'm not going to say what I believe or I don't believe. I'm not even so sure that Charlie Kirk lost his life that day. I just need to see more evidence. That's all. If I see the evidence, I'll believe it. There's a YouTuber, I'm sure many of you know him, a guy by the name of, I think is Valhalla, VFT. The dude literally went out to the woods and he tested the theory that the FBI has been giving us. He tested it with the 30-06, with a professional person. I believe the guy makes bullets or something. Where is it at?
Here's our cow femur. The damage to that. Literally snapped in half, and then our neck that we built, that was nice, solid, thick, 4 or 5 inches of meat, absolutely obliterated.
Obliterated. And you can go and check his video out. He's Valhalla VFT on YouTube. His video did like maybe 600,000 views right around the time everything first took place. I believe they went out there a couple of times and tested out the theory. It's just virtually, it's not impossible for that to have happened according to the experts. I find it hard to believe that, but I don't do this for a living. But the people who study ballistics and gun experts, they say while it's not, there's not a 0% chance, it's almost virtually impossible for what we saw happen to have taken place if it was a 30-06 from 140 yards away. That's what they said. Nick Fuentes says, where's the evidence? Huh?
everything other than evidence. They're going to say, well, Israel kills everybody else. Okay, people die all the time.
People pass away all the time. Do people get publicly executed or allegedly publicly executed for the world to see in front of a audience, a college audience, after they've been having turmoil and disputes with their donors, after text messages have been leaked, after Bibi Netanyahu offered this man like $150 million allegedly, after Charlie Kirk, it was said by what's his name Blumenthal came out and revealed in an article that Charlie Kirk watched Donald Trump, our president, interact with Bibi Netanyahu, and it was clear to Charlie Kirk that President Trump was afraid to ever question Bibi Netanyahu, and he's also afraid for his life. This is what came out like a week or two after. This guy says, where's the evidence? We're just going off conspiracy theories and gossip. Huh? This dude sounds like a normie. He sounds green. It's like, have you been on a rock?
Actually, people die all the time, and there are a lot of school shootings and assassinations. This stuff happens with regularity. Was Israel behind Luigi Mangione? Why or why not? Was Israel behind the school shooting in Colorado that happened on the same day? Why or why not?
This right here is what you would call cognitive dissonance, and just complete ignorance maybe as well. Because there's so many things you have to disregard, so many things you have to forget in order to say something like this. Context, Nick. It's called context. Right? Context. What was taking place with Charlie Kirk? What was taking place with Luigi Mangione, or whatever his name is, the guy that took out the healthcare guy? This is embarrassing.
Was Israel behind the shooting of Trump? Why or why not?
There's very good reason to believe that that's plausible. So once again, a terrible example.
I don't know if any of those people blamed Israel for the shooting of Trump. Was Israel behind the Las Vegas shooting? Why or why not? Because the heuristic seems to be Israel is behind literally everything.
Oh, boy.
Literally everything.
Oh, boy.
Not most things, not things we can demonstrate with evidence. No, they're behind literally everything. And if
Who said that? That's what you call a straw man. You misrepresent or just flat out lie about a person's position, and then you completely dismantle this made up argument in your head that you just created that the other person is not even saying, so that you can appear as if you're winning the argument. That's called a straw man. Not Nick Fuentes, Ian Carroll, or the rest of us has never said that that foreign nation is responsible for everything. My guy, you would be a lot closer to somebody that would probably fall into that category, not us. And I wouldn't even say that's your position.
they're behind literally everything in the past, then it's safe to assume they're behind literally everything in the future. And that is ridiculous. That doesn't make any sense. Why? Charlie Kirk was Israel's top guy. I don't know how much more clear you can make it. And here's a perfect example. Hey, Ian Carroll, why did you on September 7th of this year tweet at Charlie Kirk, "You're working for the Jews that killed Jesus"? On September 7th, 2025, you tweeted that Charlie Kirk is working for the Jews that killed Jesus. On September 11th, you were absolutely certain that Israel killed him because he was this close to telling the truth. And he died for it. So what changed in those 4 days exactly? What irrefutable proof did you get in those 4 days? On September 7th, you said Charlie Kirk is working for the Jews that killed Jesus. On September 11th, the day after he was killed, you were certain, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that Israel killed him to silence him. How does that even happen? Before we had a suspect, before we knew any of the facts, any of it, you knew for sure they did it.
This is embarrassing, dude. It's embarrassing. Ian Carroll then responded, which I won't show here, with a 2.5 hour video presenting all the evidence that Nick Fuentes asked for. All the evidence. Let's see. And Nick Fuentes decides to just resort to just ad hominems.
Call you a
Insults.
fed and imply you're disingenuous, but genuinely, when was the last time someone told their audience to get involved in politics? Not just voting, but taking the helm.
At this point, I'm convinced that Ian is an operative.
What?
Ian is pro RFK Jr. He said he defended Eric Prince repeatedly, defended the Gaza deal. He's on Joe Rogan with this Kabbalah bracelet. You know, you want to know why I think that? It's because I was talking to him and he was treating me like a robot. Because I texted Ian Carroll the other day and I said, you know what, man, fuck you. I said, I defended you. I said, when everybody was calling you an operative because of your Kabbalah bracelet and whatever, I said, I defended you. I said, and this is how you repay me. We disagree, and now you call me a fed. That's your go-to.
Ian Carroll never called this guy fed. In fact, Ian Carroll has said that he don't know, he don't have evidence to suggest that Nick Fuentes is a fed, but Nick Fuentes' position is extremely very suspicious when it comes to this. All right? This kid is a virgin. Taking advice from a virgin is hilarious. No, it's not hilarious. What is wrong with being a virgin? You got to break that down for me. If you believe in Christ, which you probably do not, you should be waiting for marriage to have sex. That's the way that this works, right? It's very odd to me, and Piers Morgan did this in his interview with Nick as well, teased him. First, Piers Morgan said that he was a Catholic. Then he teased Nick Fuentes for being a virgin. Which is it? Do we believe in Christ and the things that Christ said, or no? We got to get that together, man. He's no virgin, just a virgin with a female. I've heard that. That's funny.
It's not, I disagree with him or I don't understand his position. It's, oh, he's a fed. I said, you're a traitor. And he just wouldn't. He's like, just talking right past me. He's like, well, this isn't about you or me. This is about Charlie and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, it's about me because you're calling me a fed and you're a traitor. I'll read it to you. These people, like, something's not right with these people. I don't know what it is, but something's not right. I'll read you the conversation. And it was a very weird conversation. So I texted him. I said, you are a really disloyal person. I went to bat for you when people were calling you a fed. Now, because I disagree with you, you attack my credibility? Fuck you. He texted me. He said, watch the video. You're way out over your skis, man. Blatantly wrong, and it's hurting your credibility, whether I point it out or not.
True. That's a fact.
Whether I pointed out, okay, but you're not attacking my credibility. You're calling me a fed. Go rewatch your live stream segment about me. Did you think I wasn't going to respond? You asked for evidence, so I produced it. I said, you are saying, has Fuentes flipped? Disagree all you want, but insinuating I work for Israel or the FBI, you are a total piece of shit.
Notice this entire clip that Nick Fuentes is continuously and will continuously ignore every single time Ian Carroll says, hey, man, the evidence that you asked for that was already available all over the internet, hey, I represented it to you in one video in full. Nick Fuentes never acknowledges the evidence. He never acknowledges what's been presented to suggest that this Tyler Robinson lone shooter narrative is complete garbage. Nick Fuentes, as I want you all to pay attention, is going to completely ignore that. He doesn't care about the evidence. He cares about name calling. It hurt his feelings. But the evidence, what do I need with that?
When people were attacking you for your Kabbalah bracelet, I called that out as paranoia and said they were being ridiculous. Now we disagree for the first time, and you immediately jump on bad faith accusations saying I'm controlled op. You are trash. You agreed with me that Candace Owens did me dirty and didn't say anything because you didn't want to offend her. There was nothing honest about you. And that's true, by the way. When Candace trashed me, he called me up and said, you're totally right about her, dude. She treated you terribly, but I don't want to say anything because she was nice to me. He replies, he goes, this isn't about you, Nick. Someone killed Charlie Kirk.
That's so messy. That's such a messy thing to do. So, yeah, I mean, it's just embarrassing. And now Nick Fuentes is pushing this narrative that 30-6 did in fact hit Charlie Kirk, and it got stuck in his body. It didn't fracture. I mean, it didn't shatter his neck. It didn't send red liquid splashing all over the people around Charlie. He said, no, everything that we think happened or everything that the feds say happened makes total sense. All right. Okay, I need to address something. I really need to address something. So many of you have been asking me about, have I seen a video by another content creator alleging a new theory about what may have happened to Charlie Kirk. And I know this is an abrupt pivot in the video, but it's because I just saw somebody in the comments ask me, and I've been getting all these emails. I've seen the emails. I've seen the comment. Shout out to Baron Coleman. By the way, if somebody wants to clip this part of the interview or the part of the video and send it over to Baron, that would be dope. Or maybe send him a super chat whenever you hop on his live again, because Baron and I have been talking a little bit behind the scenes before, but it's kind of hard to get that man to respond these days, which is crazy because that's normally what people say about me. But apparently, I guess he proposed some sort of theory about Charlie Kirk being electrocuted. I have not seen it yet, but so many people have been emailing me about, Didi, you should check this out. Didi, you should really do a video on this. Didi, you should talk about it. I haven't seen it yet. So I can't give an opinion one way or the other, but apparently it's some sort of theory about Charlie Kirk may have been electrocuted from the microphone that he was holding. That's interesting. I'd have to hear more and see more about how that's plausible. But apparently it's important enough to the point where let me see why. But yeah, it's very interesting. Very interesting theory. I haven't looked into it as of yet, but yeah. I also want to let you all know that I'm in the process, before I get off of here, I'm in the process of getting in contact with a Turning Point USA an ex Turning Point USA employee. And I almost want to go as far to say some of the things that I've heard this person saying was taking place behind the scenes, but I don't want to get ahead of myself, because first I'm going to have that person to say it first. I don't want to be sued, but it's wild. It's wild, like criminally wild. But I'm in the process of trying to get this person onto the show. I'll keep you all in the loop about that as well. I dropped a video earlier today about Erica Kirk. Go and check that out when you get a chance. I do have playlists on my YouTube channel. For those of you that don't know, if you just go to my YouTube channel and slide over to the playlist tab, you'll be able to find some things that I've said. I mean, some playlists. I have a Erica Kirk mystery, the Erica Kirk mystery playlist. I have a Charlie Kirk playlist. I have a Candace Owens playlist. I have a More Than a Coincidence playlist. I have a Donald Trump playlist. I have a No Diddy playlist, and the list goes on. So if you want to see videos that's related to certain topics, you can do it that way. And I also want to state that stay tuned, because I have some merchandise. A lot of you all have been emailing me and sending in super chats and comments asking about merchandise, clothing line. And I do have something to present to you all, hopefully by Tuesday of next week. And I'll hopefully have something in the next couple of weeks where I'll be able to like present it to you all. I'll be wearing it if you want to support me in that way. All right. But this right here was just a quick live I wanted to do covering this weird Nick Fuentes thing. I don't understand this angle. It doesn't make much sense at all. It makes Nick Fuentes seem like an op, so to speak. So before we leave, let me present some information about Nick Fuentes. One sec. Let's see if I can pull this up. And this will further allow you all to understand why I am suspicious about these people. Let's see. So let me see. Let me share the screen. And I'm going to show you all some of this information. So let's read some of this stuff about Nick Fuentes. All right. Try to make this bigger. Boom. Okay. Now, let's see. So one of the things I found weird, Nick Fuentes was actually involved with the Charlottesville rally that took place back in 2017, if you all remember. It says, in August 2017, Nick Fuentes attended the Charlottesville rally, which catapulted him to the mainstream. And something that's very strange is that major outlets like AP, and there's an article linked here, USA Today, Fox News, and the Chicago Tribune covered his decision to drop out of college due to quote-unquote death threats, framing him as a martyr. Now, this is partially important because I want you all to remember, as I've said before, whenever mainstream media decides to share you, even if it's you rebelling or in a position where as if you're rebelling against the establishment, against the system, against the quote-unquote deep state, it's suspicious. And that was early on, 2017, right? So we're talking 8 years ago. That's very, very weird. All right. And then the Young Turks, right? All of these videos are linked here as well. And it says, what's striking in these videos is his polished, mature demeanor, uncharacteristic of an 18-year-old, suggesting coaching or preparation. Now, I wanted to say this before, and I want to make sure that I say this now. Nick Fuentes is extremely impressive as far as like his knowledge, his ability to draw on historical events, historical figures, right? The nuances of their decision-making, wars, etc. But it's almost too impressive, right? Nick Fuentes, and I actually agree with Brian here, Nick Fuentes is a very odd individual in the sense of he talks like he's 45 years old, right? It seems like he's almost like, where did he come from? Where did this person come from? Like, he says this about other people. I'm saying this about him. Where did he come from? Right? Because the amount of knowledge that this guy has, it makes me question if he even had a regular childhood like the rest of us. It's like, sure, it's one thing to be smart, to make great grades, go to a great college, graduate top of your class, but to be able to draw on these things, it makes me wonder, like, did all you do is read books and watch history movies and watch the History Channel all day? How do you know all of this stuff? Right? It's one thing to be highly intelligent, and it's another thing to be able to draw on things. The way that Nick Fuentes has done is it's a bit odd to me. Very, very odd. So I actually agree. Not even just coaching or prep, well, not even just coaching, but when you say preparation, I think of other things, like definitely preparation. But it wasn't just the Charlottesville situation. Nick Fuentes also was involved in the January 6th, right? He was instructing his followers to keep moving towards the Capitol. He never received any punishment, and it's been reported that a lot of his followers were arrested, which at the time that all of this happened, I didn't know who Nick Fuentes was. But I do remember them showing on the news that one of the people that was encouraging people to rush the Capitol turned out to be Nick Fuentes, which is very odd. All right. Trigger Smart debunked the execution theory. Okay, I'm gonna have to look at both videos then. Barron's videos are typically a lot longer. They're like 2 or 3 hours. I don't have as much time to do that. But yeah. But as far as like Nick Fuentes, I find Nick Fuentes to be a chaos provocateur, right? I find him to be someone, and when I say chaos provocateur, I mean chaos provocateur by design. I think that's the role he's supposed to play. When you feel so freely and so loosely to talk about these things, pushing these racist and racial divisive language talking points, it's weird, right? Especially considering he almost got pow-powed outside his apartment or his house, and the person that almost did that to him was a white person. But he'll talk like there's some sort of epidemic of black people, black criminal thugs attacking innocent white people in public. And it just isn't. I didn't say it doesn't happen. I didn't say that, that's impossible to happen. I'm saying there's no epidemic. There's an epidemic of black people killing other black people, which Nick Fuentes doesn't care about. Right? So there's that. Nick Fuentes is just an odd character all around. He's too informed, right, on historical topics for a 27-year-old. It's like, how you know all of that? A lot of people are able to draw on things when they're older because they lived through it, because their parents lived through it. He's able to talk about things that happened in the 1890s. Like, what? Who remembers and knows all of that off memory? The average person just isn't. This is deeper than just being smart or intelligent. Somebody said, no, he's not. Some people read. There's levels to this. There's levels to this. There's nothing wrong with being intellectual. That guy's a little different. Right? Anyways, let me get to some super chats so I can go and cook. People with eyes to see and hear, eyes to see, people with eyes to see and ears to hear can discern that the widow is off, to say the least. 100% agree. 100% agree. And if you're watching her, I also think about that when the people that are interviewing her, it's like, how are y'all watching this woman, looking at those eyes, and you don't feel off? You don't notice the same thing we're noticing? Really? Nah, bro. You see it like we do. You just don't want to say it out loud. For whatever reason. Mickey, what's up, Mickey? Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. I commented under a Jack Postal Big post about a crime stating simply that there is no epidemic of black on white crime, and that's just a fact. That's what I was just saying. It's a fact. Again, it doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. But like the situation in Charlottesville, the guy was mentally ill. The Daniel Penny situation, the guy was mentally ill. Most black people that are committing violent crimes are doing it to other black people, which, by the way, is not okay. Not to white people. Stop it. Sure, you have your anecdotes. There are anecdotes that you can point to, but it's not even close on who are the major victims, right? I was heavily ratioed by people who aren't precise in their understanding of English. Right. Under a Jack Postal Big post, it's probably going to be a hit or miss for sure. That guy's weird too. But thank you so much for the $5 super chat. We really get away from precise language in our public discourse, and that is frustrating. That's why we love it here, Didi. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm glad that y'all can just tell I'm a regular person, that I'm going to call it like I see it. All right? Today, you may say something, the person I'm talking about may be saying something I agree with. If you say something tomorrow that I'm like, what is that about? I'm going to call you out on it. It's called consistency. All right? Thank you so much, Dr. Tibbs, for the $5 super chat. Jessica, Amanda, next chapter. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Erica, Serpent Eyes Go to USA Today. Video at 1 minute 42 when she introduces JD Vance. Slow it down and zoom in. TP USA clipped the 4K video of this part. I saw this. I actually know what you're talking about. I saw this, and I covered this in another live when we talked about Erica. When we covered the Erica JD Vance whole little weird situation in Mississippi. I think it was at Ole Miss. And we covered it. I was like, her eyes, man, that is weird. And for my Patreon members, you all remember when this first happened with Charlie, I actually shared a video on Patreon, and I believe it's public for even free members as well. I think it's the Charlie Kirk video is entitled, Was Charlie Kirk Ritualistically Sacrificed? And in that video, towards the end, I share a clip of a girl who gave a breakdown of all the times that Erica's eyes seem to change colors, and they almost look reptilian. And the video isn't edited. It's not altered. It's real videos of places that Erica's been. It's weird. Allison, thank you so much for the follow super chat. Didi, I just want to say thank you for what you do. Thank you for the truth you promote. It's so refreshing. It has opened my eyes to so much more. MLK video was awesome. You watched it. First of all, thank you so much for the follow super chat. Thank you so much for your kind words. That's dope. Heck yeah. That's all I care about. And I got some, like I said, I got some merch coming is going to say truth. Some different phrases that we usually say on this program or on this channel. So heck yeah, I appreciate that. Is he a clone? Who are we talking about? Thank you so much for the follow super chat. Are you talking about Nick Fuentes? She's reading off to the side entire time. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Are you talking about Erica? Do we cover a woman in this? Do we show a woman clip in here? I'm not so sure. Yeah, it's odd though. Heck yeah. All right, y'all. I need to go and cook. Love y'all. I gave y'all 2 videos today. Hopefully that's enough. I'm gonna go get to work. Diddy, you gotta look at Baron Coleman's evidence on Charlie Kirk being electrocuted. All right, I definitely plan to. If somebody can clip it or give me a timestamp. If y'all can email me a timestamp in the video to go to, because I don't have 3 hours of free time. I just don't. I'm a busy man. So that will greatly help. And then I can go and check out Trigger Smart's video, because someone else has already said that it's been debunked, right? Baron Coleman and I are supposed to do some sort of collab in the future. So maybe that's the video we can do, you know? So y'all want to shoot him some emails or some super chats and just tell him to email me back, and we can maybe get this conversation going, you know? So heck yeah, man. I'm gonna go cook. Love y'all, man. Have a great weekend. Be safe tonight. I'll catch y'all in the next one. I'm Demetrius. I go by Didi. Peace.
Oh yeah, Didi got a pie.
Attitudes and our work ethic become very important in realizing our goals and opening up possibilities. I had lunch a couple of weeks ago with a recent graduate at UCA. And his story is really fascinating. It's one of overcoming homelessness during his time pursuing his degree, first at a community college here in Arkansas, and then finishing his bachelor's degree here at UCA. His narrative ranges from estrangement from family for many years to a hopeful reunion with mother and siblings. His record is one of overcoming odds in a way that I probably could not, and certainly demonstrating levels of tenacity and patience and optimism that I can only marvel at. He wanted to talk with me about his new job and his career path going forward. I really need to be there to learn from him, because that's where the real value was.
Everything I say in this video is alleged. Allegedly. No such thing as a life that is better than yours. Y'all just repeat after me. I really appreciate it. Alright? No such thing. Come on, we can do better than that. Talk to me. Alright, let's start it over. No such thing as a life that's better than yours. You're worse than the rich white people or the rich white Jews that own these record labels, because they don't even understand these populations. You have a lot closer relationship to these people, and you're leading them to hellfire. You are leading them in the wrong direction in the name of getting rich and famous. How dare you?
Oh yeah, Didi got a podcast.